Hello, and today we're doing championship predictions for match day number 44 of the 2020 to 21 season. And this is going to be juicy because there are a lot of big games and it's getting to that crunch stage of the season where a point could mean the difference between promotion or relegation. So what, before we get into anything, is the theme of the week? Well, it has to be just one thing. Party! Party! That's right, the theme of the week is partying because, and of course do it from your homes, be COVID safe, it's because Watford are hoping to launch a promotion party with a win would be enough against Millwall to get us back to the Premier League, the promised land, the place that we know we want to be. Come on, get the champers out, start celebrating, but we need to get it done before we do that. So, you know. But you get what I mean. We do have one foot in the Premier League. We just need this other foot to get slotted into that little gap, and then we'll be a Premier League team, and it'll be beautiful. So 3 points, very much needed against Millwall. We've just got to go there, focus on ourselves. It doesn't really matter about other teams. We just win this game and we're up. And ultimately, if we lose this, then it leaves us scrambling about for points in the other games against Brentford and Swansea. We don't want to do that. We know we can beat this Millwall team. They do frustrate, but we have a very good squad this season. We've been in fantastic form, especially at home. Let's get the job done. So, before we get into my week 44 championship predictions, the song of the week, hence the theme, is going to be Celebrations by the Cool Gang. Celebrate good times, come on, do-do-do-dun-dun, it's a celebration. But what is the colour of the week? Well, in aid of Watford, Possible's promotion automatically to the Premier League, it has to be the colour yellow, yellow. So, after we've done that, we're going to now look at the Week 43 Championship predictions. And I've got to say at this point, it's not looking good for Rotherham, is it? Rotherham could very well be going down. But how do we do in last week's predictions? Well, we kicked things off with a very bad start. No points against Brentford. You hate to see it. And then we said a 0-0 draw in the Norwich game. It was pretty hard to have the faith in that game because it was Norwich. But we went and did it. We beat them 1-0, so no points again. We also went with a draw in the Derby game, no points. Blackburn, we went with a Blackburn win. Sheffield Wednesday somehow getting the win. And Swansea QPR, we went with a 2-2. Of course, it was even better than that. QPR got the win. So still no points here. Then Bournemouth, we went with a 1-0 Bournemouth. And it was actually 4-1 with a goal for the midfielder that is Danjuma, who I actually captained in Fantasy Championship this week, so we'll take that very nicely. Rotherham, we went with a surprise win, but they lost to Middlesbrough by the reverse scoreline of 2-1. Stoke, we got wrong. Coventry got a very big win. Wycombe, Bristol City, we went with a Wycombe win, but it was not quite 1-0. It was 2-1. What absolute scenes! Akinfenwa, brilliant. And Birmingham, Nottingham Forest, we went with a 1-1 draw, and that's exactly what it was, so thank you very much, 8 points. And finally, we got a correct result in the Barnsley win at Huddersfield, but we went with a Reading 2-0 win over Luton, and of course it was goalless. So, we finished the week on a, I don't know if you can describe it as a good score, but we've just got ourselves 19 points. So, it's not bad. It could be better. Hopefully, we'll have a better game week 44 in the predictions. But before we do get into those predictions, let's have a little catch up and have a little look at our championship gaffer.io team. So basically, we need to make some changes because, you know, this team is looking lovely. And of course, the deadline is tomorrow with the game kicking off between Brentford and Bournemouth, which is crucial, really. Absolutely crucial for Watford. If that game ends a draw, Watford know all they need against Millwall is a point to be promoted. But in terms of this game, I do have Danjuma. So if Bournemouth do us a favour by, you know, beating Brentford, Danjuma will hopefully be at the heart of it. I'm not going to captain him like last week, though. Just to quickly look back at last week, we had a really decent week considering we didn't do many transfers. The previous week, we got that 60-pointer pretty awful because we did the Jeepers Keepers chip and it didn't really work. But this week, we did get at least a clean sheet from Freddie Woodman. So 6 points for him. Christie got 4. Not ideal. Mark Gay got 4. Helik, though, thank you very much. Performance bonus. And Max Aaron's got 4 because, of course, he conceded. Elise, performance bonus, but didn't do anything. Powell as the vice-captain. Again, blanks. Disappointing. Ismail Assar, another performance bonus. Thank you very much. And Dan Juma got the goal and a performance bonus. 16 as my captain. Whereas the front two were awful. 4 from Tony and 2 from Pookie. So, yeah, not good, basically. And then on the bench, we had Ostergaard, who, of course, got that assist against Stoke. So, bit of a nightmare, really, this week. But I'm hoping, with a bit of tinkering, we can make it a better week this time around. The question is, do we make a transfer? Because we do have one free transfer with 0.6 in the budget. So we might as well make use of this one free transfer. And I think what we're going to do, people, is we're going to probably get rid of... We'll play Ostergaard this week because he plays Preston. We'll probably get rid of Michael Elise. I know that seems harsh, but I just feel like with him playing Swansea, it might be a difficult ask. And recently, he's not been getting as many assists. He can have skills in the game, but ultimately, it's not calculating in points. So I need a 5.5 midfielder, which is a bit limited for options, I've got to be honest, because Elise himself is 4.9 and he's, been one of the high scoring midfielders. So, yeah, we've got to accept really, this is not going to be a luxury transfer, but it's just a transfer that hopefully will not be too bad. So I'm going to go for a little bit of... Who do we go with, people? I mean, 5.5 million, there's not a lot we can do with that. And you've also got to look at, with the late run-in of the season, which teams are actually desperate for points. Nottingham Forest, not so much. They don't really have much to play for. I don't know. There's not many options right now. Barnsley, to be fair, are trying to get those playoff spots. So maybe we put in Callum Styles. I think that's decent. For 5.2 million, don't mind it. So we're going for Styles in for Elise as our one transfer this week. Bish bash bosh. Right, 0.3 left in the bank for next week, week 45. But what is our current lineup? It is this. Daniel Backman at home versus Millwall. Fingers crossed for a clean sheet and hopefully a win for us to get promoted. And then Helik against Rotherham. Great fixture. He's got the goal threat. Max Aaron's, again, very good defender. Obviously didn't do that well against Watford, but he shows that attacking potential, and I think against QPR, maybe a clean sheet. Ostergaard, hopefully he scores this time and we don't get a return from him in only the games we bench him. Then we've got Nick Powell. Do we keep the faith in Nick Powell? Because he's recently been quite poor. Maybe I think we do, just because it makes sense. Or what we could do is play Birmingham's Djukovic against Derby, who are pretty leaky, Derby County. So, yeah, that might make more sense. I know it seems a bit illogical because you're playing a player like Nick Powell who, he's not got the worst of fixtures in Nottingham Forest. And Derby maybe will put up a fight. At least with Nottingham Forest, they've got nothing to play for. But, I'm feeling a little bit of Djukovic, to be fair. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me. But we've gone and subbed out Nick Powell for Djukovic. So let's rephrase that midfield. Callum Styles making his debut for my team against Rotherham. Very good fixture. Sarr faces Millwall. He's going to be the vice-captain. The captain is bold, but I've gone with Ken Sema. I know that I've gone with Sarr in recent weeks. I'm just going to gamble and go with Ken Sema because he's been brilliant all season. Recently not as good, but hopefully he just has one of those great days. Then Dan Juma, emergency captain. The front three is going to be Djukovic, Ivan Toney, who's got 2 games against Bournemouth and Rotherham, so hopefully he gets some goals in both of those. And Teemu Pukki. We'll see if Norwich have kind of slumped towards the end of the season. They want the title, but they recently haven't been as good against Bournemouth and Watford. And then on the bench, we have Freddie Woodman, because it's a hard fixture against Reading. Nick Powell, Christie against Stoke, and Mark Gay against Reading. Right, that is our team locked in, people, and we're going to just stick with that, really. I don't see any reason to change it, so yeah, I think that's pretty nice, personally. I think that's a little bit different, a little bit interesting, and hopefully will give us those beautiful fantasy points. So that will be on the thumbnail. So if you wanted to have another quick look at that, then look on the thumbnail. The deadline tomorrow is at 11, but as we said, we probably won't make any more changes. So let's get into then the first game this game week, and it is between Bournemouth and Brentford. Now this is a big game for Watford's sake, but I'm just going to stick with a draw in this game. I feel like Brentford really need the points to make sure they definitely can, if they, if it is possible, can at least put Watford under pressure. But Bournemouth obviously want them as well because they need to secure the playoffs. They're looking fairly comfortable to have that, but both these teams want as many points as possible. And I do feel right now that it will be a draw. So Bournemouth 2, Brentford 2. And goal scorers here, I think Dan Juma to get the first goal. Then the equaliser is Ivan Toney. The second goal for Bournemouth, to make it very much in their favour, will come from a goal by midfielder David Brooks. And then the equaliser for Brentford right at the death, I reckon, will be scored by the fullback that is none other than... is it Rico Henry? Or is that someone else? I might have got confused there. Yeah, no, Rico Henry, yeah. I stand by it. The left back. Okay, that's the first game done. Now we've got the game between Blackburn and Huddersfield. Now Blackburn, with a really poor result last week against Sheffield Wednesday, surely they can't have a slump again. Who knows? I think they could, just because they're in bad form and they're struggling. Huddersfield obviously are really struggling as well. They need the points desperately. But they did get a recent really good win against Nottingham Forest. And then last week, their game against Barnsley, they were always going to probably struggle. So this is a kind of game that Huddersfield really have to target. And I think they can get something from this. Blackburn Rovers 0, Huddersfield 2. And the goals here, I think, will come from Huddersfield's, first of all, midfielder. That is Bakuna. I think he's a midfielder. I need to just check that because I always get confused. I think there's two Bakunas, one from Cardiff, one from Huddersfield, and then there's also like multiple Murphys. I don't even know at this point. But no, the first goal, I stick by it, will be Bakuna, the Juninho Bakuna. Usually has blue hair, I think. The second goal, though, for Huddersfield, let's say, is going to come through defender that it goes by the name of Naby Sarr. Now it's Cardiff versus Wycombe, and tough game for Wycombe. Off the back of that amazing win versus Bristol City, it doesn't get easier. Wycombe have got that amazing team spirit, and they always fight till the end, but will they be able to stop Cardiff? I just don't think so. I mean, yeah, you'd argue that Cardiff have been pretty poor this season, and in terms of the last 5 games, no wins. Could be an opportunity here, but I just feel surely at home Cardiff will have enough. So I'll say Cardiff 3, Wycombe Wanderers 0, but you'd love to see Wycombe win because this would be the greatest escape if they managed it. So goals for here, Cardiff, I will say, let's say the first goal in the game is going to come through the man who did find the back of the net versus Blackburn just a few weeks ago, and that was Will Vaulks. And then the second goal of the game for the Bluebirds, I'm going to go for Shea Ojo. And then the final goal is going to be midfielder Harry Wilson. All right, now it's a Coventry versus Preston matchup that could be quite interesting in terms of the table because Preston are probably safe, but we know that definitely Coventry are not completely... Actually, I say this, not completely, but I think they are. Yeah, they're safe. 51 points. They should be fine. So actually, this game is not as hyped up and relevant as we thought it was. But the point is, these are still two fairly decent teams that haven't had great seasons. Just 1 point separates them in the table. So I feel like this is a game that Coventry can maybe get a point. So Coventry 1, Preston 1. I think that Preston will actually go behind first. And Coventry's scorer here will be, in my opinion, Ostergaard. And then the equaliser for the away side, let's say it will come through the form of the very nice forward. That is, of course, Jakobsen. And that specifically is Emil Rees Jakobsen. Right, now let's move on to the next matchup in this Championship game week. And this one is between the teams of... Oh, where's the matches gone? Oh dear, the matches have just disappeared from us. That's not very nice. Okay, alright, now it's Derby versus Birmingham. So, Derby, will they stay up? I don't know at this point, because with a performance like that in the last match day, they really just didn't do themselves any favours. It was absolutely diabolical against Preston, but they could still have enough. It's a matter of getting that bad run and, kind of turning it around, because 4 defeats on a spin is basically condemning at this stage of a season. Rotherham have also had a bad run of defeats, but Derby's has been even worse, and obviously we know Rotherham have got 2 games in hand over Derby, so I feel like Huddersfield are definitely still in the mix, hence why that game against Blackburn is massive. And Birmingham are this week up against Derby. So, both these teams need the points. I think Birmingham will feel maybe they've just done about enough, but at this point, you never know with the Championship. So I feel like the stronger team on the day might be Birmingham, but because Derby need it more, they're going to go all out for the win, and I think they'll just about get it. Derby 2, Birmingham 1. And I think that firstly, it'll be a goal from Djukovic for Birmingham, but Derby get their goals, and who is going to step up in this massive 6-pointer for the Rams? I will say, first of all, their talisman, really, Tom Lawrence, and then a goal from the defender that is Forsyth. Okay, we're running out of battery, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. Basically, we really can't do a lot about that. But at this point, we gotta move on. We simply gotta move on. Yeah, so let's just speed through them now. Let's not do scorers because I'm literally running out of battery. Barnsley 3, Rotherham 0 is what I'm going with. We're also going with Middlesbrough 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Watford 3, Millwall 0. Fingers crossed. Goals here, let's say, will be Troost-Ekong on 26 minutes, Messina in the 41st minute, and Cleverley in the 85th minute. We held firm defensively in the last game. Let's see if we can do that again and get the goals to get us promoted. I really do pray. At this point, it's crazy, but I don't know. We'll find out. I think it's just that mentality now. We're going to hopefully go up. We're going to bounce back from that relegation. 3 more points and we're there, and it is going to be quite juicy. Simple win and we're in the Premier League, and we just have to hope that if we don't win, things go our way in the next few games. But anyway, now we've got the game between Nottingham Forest and Stoke, and I'm going to go with a Stoke 2-1 away win. Hopefully, Nick Powell doesn't score just to punish me. Norwich 1-0 away to QPR. I think that this is the sort of game both sides haven't got much to play for, but Norwich have still got the title to play for. So actually, yes, they are promoted, but I think they'll still want to win this. Then Reading against Swansea. This is a big game, obviously, for the playoff cases. I think Swansea have kind of thrown away automatic, but Reading still want to get above them and still want to have a better playoff position, and depends on who they're selected to play against. So I feel like Swansea might just have enough here to bounce back from poor recent games. Reading 2, Swansea 3. And finally, Bristol City face Luton in another interesting mid-table clash. But I'm backing Luton this time. Bristol City 0, Luton 1. And that wraps up my predictions for match day 44 of the Championship. Make sure you tune in to Hive Live, or, just look it on your phone. Let's see if Watford can get promoted this weekend. If not, we have the quality to get it down eventually. And at this point, it's big, big news for us to get back into that Premier League, rebuild, make some better signings, and try and cement our place in the best division in England. But thanks for watching my Championship predictions. Let's hope I get a few of those right, because, I need it, basically. 8 points for the correct scoreline, 5 for the goal difference in the result, and 3 for only the result. Thanks for watching.